Hi there. Today I'm going to show you how to make a quote graphic for Instagram using Social Squares, Canva, and these great templates that Social Squares has provided for free to all of its members. So I've just opened up our Instagram Squares template right here, and I've picked out a couple of designs that I think are going to be a great fit for some quote graphics. And I've already got a couple of images from the Social Squares catalog dropped in here as well that I'm going to drop into some of these frames. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to copy over the quote that I want to use. And of course, you can change any of these colors and fonts to whatever brand colors and fonts you have, but Canva also has some great free fonts that you can use as well. So I'm just going to be copying my quotes into these text boxes using the fonts that are already provided. I'm just going to highlight and replace. And now that I'm seeing just how much text is here, I'm not loving how long it is in this font. So I'm going to go ahead and change it to something that I know is going to be a little more readable. I'm going to scale it down just a tad so I can get voice on that line. Maybe I need to scale it up a tad. There we go. And then I'm going to drop in an image here that I like. And I'm just going to tweak some of these colors so that it better suits the image I'm working with. Now, some of these templates are made for blog posts, so you'll see over on the side it says new on the blog, and I think what I'll just change this to so it's better suited for a quote graphic is wise words from Steve Jobs. Here's who said this quote. Right, so that is a fun option, and we could also, if we don't like the way this is overlapping, could easily move it down here, and I think that looks really modern and really nice and polished for a quote graphic. Now, something else that you might want to try is, of course, adding in open and close quote marks here. Something else that is sometimes fun is creating a new text box and doing a quote mark in there. And I think it's fun to just make this really large, so size it up. Make that quote graphic white, and then go ahead and send it back. Oh, not all the way back. Sometimes that's a nice way to get a little bit of a lead into your quote and make it a little more eye-catching. And of course, you could also change this font to be something totally different, maybe with a different quote style that feels a little more decorative. So that's one option. Now I'm going to scroll down to this next one, which has a really great layout that really makes your image the star of the show as well, because it's going to take up this entire background space. So again, I'm going to drag in an image from the Social Squares catalog that I like a lot. In Canva, you can also double click an image and recrop it if you need to. So I might scoot that up a tad. And I'm going to copy in my next quote. All right, so the way we have these templates formatted, it's automatically going to push down your text boxes if your text is longer than the size that's provided here. So you can always just scoot it back up. And if you feel like you need a little more white space, then you can always size your text down a bit as well. And then recenter everything. That looks great to me. And there you go. I've also included a second style here, a text style that's a little smaller and a little different than the actual quote for your quote attribution. And I like having that set aside and letting the quote really be the star of the show and playing down who said it a little bit more so that we can really get eyes on the quote and then say, okay, here's who said this amazing quote. Another thing you can do on this template is remove this box that we have right here. And if you do that, just make sure that you're putting your quote somewhere where there's a lot of negative space and where there's not too much busy color contrast on the background. So for instance, if I replace this image with this, there's a lot of color going on in the background. There's a lot of contrast back there. So I might move this here and make it skinnier. Or I might move it to the bottom and scale the entire thing down. So that's really up to you and your discretion, as long as things are large enough to be readable on Instagram or wherever this is being published. Then of course you also might want to try dragging in an image with some white space in the center. That's lovely too. So this second template is really, really flexible and you can edit it however best suits the image that you're using from the catalog and the quote that you have. Now, this third option, again, is something that we designed originally to be used for promoting blog content, but I think it's also a really fun one that you can use for a quote as well. So let me drop in a beautiful image. I'm going to change this background color to be something that I think is maybe a little closer to what the colors in the image are. And I'm going to copy in another quote. And I'm going to move this text box down, and that is going to be my attribution. I'm going to scale this attribution down as well, and then I'm going to size my text up so that it is really the star of the show. And that's another great option for your quotes. So you've got 3 great options here. This second one is going to be the most obvious and the cleanest and possibly easiest to work with. But I think that you've got some 2 blog options that you could convert into quote options that are going to be really fun as well and can really vary the look of your feed. So after you're done with this, all you have to do is go to download and download as a PNG. PNGs are perfect for digital devices and mobile devices, so that's what I'd recommend. And then you'll be all set.